Okay. So in previous lecture, we were just talking about the types of spores. We have already seen that types of spore. Okay. Basically, the 5 types of spores are there, and we just talked about that. Spores, that is zoospores, conidiospores, chlamydospores, oidiospores, and this sporangiospores. Okay. So after that, now we are supposed to move forward, that is the vegetative propagation. So now in that vegetative propagation, we will just talk about the vegetative reproduction, particularly into the plant. Okay, so this vegetative reproduction occurs, this vegetative reproduction, you can also say it as a vegetative reproduction, or you can also say it as the vegetative propagation. So now this vegetative propagation is also called as the vegetative reproduction. So the formation of new plant from the vegetative units or the propagules such as buds, tubers, and rhizomes, etc., etc. Okay, so the new plant is being developed from the different units. Different units mean the small species of the plant. For example, the buds, tubers, and the rhizomes. We have already seen the buds present on the the outer surface of the plant. For example, the eyes also, eyes in the buds that is present on the potato, then the tubers. Okay, all those potatoes also, if we will just cut down the potatoes into the different species, then that species can also give rise, and when we'll sow this species into the soil, then that species can also give rise to the new plant. Rhizomes, we have already discussed the rhizome in the board lecture, that is rhizome that is in ginger. We just saw that. Okay, so this method produce the large amount of population of the plant. Okay, so from the single small piece of the plant, you will have the large number of population. So many different plant can be produced through it, through this. All these populations are also called as the clone, because this vegetative propagation, this vegetative reproduction is also the asexual reproduction, and that is the reason it is called as the clones. Now moving forward. Now let's talk about the its type. There are different types. Okay, so these all are clones, and the reason I already told you, they produce in a very short time. So they are a very short time, they will take very short time. It is not like that if you are developing new plant through a natural means, then what will happen, then you will wait for the plant to grow. You will you have to wait for the plant to develop the its fruit and any other body that birds on it, and this is how it will take lots of much more of time. But when you are just developing and producing this plant through the what we can say, this vegetative part or the new that propagules, then it will give rise to the new plant in very short time. So these clones are preserves the purity, resistance, and good qualities of variety indefinitely. Okay, so this is one of the advantage of clones is also there, that clone can preserve the purity of the plant. Okay, so because plant is just continuously doing that inbreeding techniques only. Okay, it is not carrying, there is no possibility of having any foreign material, okay, through that crossbreeding or that outbreeding kind of things. Okay, and that is how, and that is one of the reason that how this plant is able to keep its purity, the pure line we can say. Okay, then resistance means whatever the character that they are having, also the resistance towards the the entering the antigen into it, or any other new variety, any other new variation into it, they resist the variation actually. And a good qualities, so whatever the good qualities they are having, they will keep on passing continuously through the different generation. Okay, that good qualities will never going to get compromised. Okay, then variety, that good quality and of the variety indefinitely. Okay, so there is no definite time, there is no limit, they can do this indefinitely. So this vegetative propagation is of two types of vegetative propagations are there. The first one is the natural one, that will occur naturally, and the second one will be the artificial one. Okay, so now in natural one, what will happen? The natural vegetative propagation, that in that what will happen, the vegetative propagules, so whatever the propagules that will develop on the plant, whatever it is, whether it is a bird or whether it is whatever it is, bird is there, or that axillary root is there, or eye is there. Okay, that will get detached from the mother plant, and then it will develop into the new plant. Okay, so this is the natural technique, and this is natural selection, you can also say. The example, the different techniques of this natural vegetative propagation is, the first is the through roots. With the help of the root you can perform this. Second is underground stem. Third is subaerial stem. Fourth is aerial stem. Fifth is leaves. Sixth is bulbil, and the seventh is the turions. Okay, now we'll see all of these one by one. Okay, yes, and there is, on the other hand, the artificial technique is also there. That is the horticulture technique. Okay, artificial technique and the horticulture technique that involves the cutting of root, stem, leaf, and through that cutting will develop, purposefully we will develop the desired characteristics and the plant with the desirable characteristics. Then the layering, then the grafting, then bird grafting, micropropagation. That micropropagation is also called as the plant tissue culture technique. Then sixth is the use of special vegetative organs. Okay, so we'll study first all the different methods of that natural vegetative propagation, and then we will talk about the artificial propagation, that is horticulture technique. So for example, if this is the plant you can see here, okay, this is a tuber and the fleshy root. So from this tuber and the fleshy root you will have the adventitious bud. Okay, and this adventitious bud, if you will cut down this adventitious bud and if you will sow it into the soil, then it will give rise to a new plant. Okay, and this is the kind of new plant, new germinating plant. These are the adventitious buds. Okay, so now this is the tuber, the fleshy roots. So now let's move forward and just take a look on the root. So the taproot and the adventitious roots take part in vegetative propagation. Okay, they will take part in vegetative propagation. So this is the taproot. On that taproot you can see the adventitious root. So now this adventitious root will grow upward the soil, and then from there it will develop the new plant. So this taproot of the some plant develops the adventitious bud, and this adventitious bud then give rise to the new plant. For example, the sesame, okay, guava, and the maraya. Okay, let's move forward. The fleshy root or the root tubers which develop the adventitious bud also take part in vegetative propagation. For example, sweet potato, dahlia, and asparagus. Okay, and these are the roots of the these are the basic structure of that sweet potato. You can see dahlia and the asparagus. Okay, so this is all about the root. Second is underground stem. Now, underground stem, what will happen underground stem? We have already seen that stem, that is the modification of stem for the purpose of the food storage. So in underground stem, the different types of underground stem structure can take part in vegetative reproduction. Okay, for example, the first one will be the tuber. Okay, they will have the buds or the eyes, and that will produce the new plantlets. For example, potato and for example is potato, and the second one is the artichoke. Okay, this is how it looks like, the artichoke one is. Okay, I think we have already seen this, and but I'm just going all through all of this so you can have a quick look on it, and then we'll move forward. Okay, this is how the birds of that potato, and if you will cut down that bird, the portion of that potato with that bird, and if you will just plant it into the soil, then what will happen, it will give rise to the a new plant. Okay, so in that underground stem, the one type is that tuber and the second type is that bulb. Okay, so in that bulb, the condensed shoot, in that bulb, the condensed shoot which have one or more buds, the condensed shoot which have one or more buds, and that buds present inside the bulb and can grow from and they can grow the new plant. For example, is garlic and the onion. Okay, bulb. So bulb kind of structure. So it's a you can also see that leaf on the leaf, and it's layered on each other, just like in example is that onion you can see, right? So these are the bulbs. Now in that underground stem, the third type is that combs. Combs એટલે આપણે પેલું સુરણ, કન જે આપણે કહીએ ને તે, all those combs, and it looks like this. So they are swollen underground stem. They are also the swollen one and underground stem. They are majoritarily they are of round shape. They are unbranched. They are swollen and underground stem and they are unbranched, so you cannot see that they are having any branch. Okay, they are generally circular. They are having the circular nodes, and that nodes they are capable to give rise to the new daughter plant. Okay, it give rise to the birds, and that birds is capable to give the new daughter plant. So these are the circular nodes you can see here. Okay, now the example is Amorphophallus and the Freesia or the crocus. Done. Okay, so after C chromes, the another type of that underground stem is the rhizomes. Okay, the ginger we have already discussed in the board. The main underground stem, it is also the main underground stem, and it stores the food. Underground stem, and it stores the food and can be useful during the unfavorable condition. This food, whatever the food that it has just stored into it, okay, so that food can be useful during the unfavorable condition. Okay, also they form the birds. So now these birds to form the new aerial suits. So from these birds, the new aerial suit will be developed, and that also helps rhizome to take part in vegetative propagation. Okay, you can clearly see I have drawn the rhizome here. Okay, these are the rhizomes. Okay, they also take part in the vegetative propagation. So if you will cut down the portion with that, that portion of that ginger with the rhizome, then and then you will plant it into the soil, then it will give rise to the new plant, and lots of new ginger will be developed. Again, so the examples are the banana, ginger, turmeric, and the adiantum. Okay, so this is the rhizome. The next type is sucker. Sucker is also the underground stem, right? Suckers is also the underground stem, and in that sucker, sucker is always slender underground branches. It produces the slender underground branches, just as in you can see here. Right, so now this underground branches that develop the base of the aerial shoot, that develop the base of the aerial shoot, then they will grow for some distance, and then they forms the new aerial shoot. Okay, so this is how you can see they are just traveling some distance, and after traveling some distance they will just came out of the soil, come above the ground, and then they will form the new plant there. Okay, the same thing will also happen when this plant will get adult, it will become mature. The same thing will also happen after traveling some distance, it will produce the another plant. Okay, so after breaking the sucker from the old plant, so after sometimes when this plant will get established and it is that plant can live individually, then what will happen, this sucker that will get break from here. Okay, and this is how the new individual separate plant has been just developed. Okay, and this is usually seen in the mint. mint એટલે આપણે પેલો ફૂદનો એમ કહીએ ને, આપણે ચાની અંદર નાખતા હોઈએ આપણે તો તે ફૂદનો, that is mint. Also visible in બ્રાહ્મી જે હોય છે તે, રાઈટ, તેની અંદર પણ આપણને આ રીતનું જે છે સ્ટ્રક્ચર જોવા મળશે. ઓકે, ચલો. So now this is all about the underground stem. Now let's talk about the subaerial stem, the third portion, third type is the subaerial stem. Now in that subaerial stem, it is also called as the creeping stem. Okay, so these subaerial stems are of three types. The first one is the runner. Okay, we have already covered that in the board, nothing new into this, but still let's have a take a look on that subaerial stem. The first one is the runner. So now what will happen in runner, the narrow green and horizontal branches will be developed. Okay, that narrow green and horizontal branches will be developed. Okay, and they also develop the base, from where they also develop the base, and from that base the root and the shoot will grow. Okay, so here if you can see here, this is the narrow basal portion. So from here, this narrow basal portion, the root is also being developed and the shoot is also being developed. Got it? Okay, so thus this is how the new plant will form. And after breaking the runner, that will help in the vegetative propagation. And this is how the two new individual plant, this runner will also get break from here, and this is how the two new individual plant will be developed. Okay, and this is very commonly seen in the lawn. Lawn એટલે આપણે જે ગાર્ડન ની અંદર જે લોન લગાવીએ છીએ ને આપણે, lawn grass, that we used to call it as the lawn grass, or the cynodon. It is also called as the cynodon, or it is also called as the doob grass. Okay, it is called as the doob grass. Also seen in centella and also seen in oxalis. Okay, so these are the three different example of the plant: lawn grass, centella, and oxalis, in which this runner type of vegetative propagation is seen. Okay, so then the second type is the stolon. Now in stolon, what will happen? Stolon, the best example of that stolon is strawberry plant. Okay, and this is what I have drawn here, this strawberry plant. Okay, all those red you can see is that strawberry. Okay, these are the strawberries, and this is the strawberry plant. Now in that strawberry plant, what will happen? They develop the horizontal branches. Okay, they develop the horizontal branches, and they are of arched shape. Okay, which shape? Arched shape. You can see this here like this. See, inverted C of the arch shape. Okay, on this arch shape, they will develop from the base of the shoot. They will develop from the base of the shoot, and that helps in the vegetative propagation. That helps in the vegetative propagation. Now, see, this is the plant here. Okay, I have just grown one plant here. So now what will happen? It will develop the one horizontal branches, and after some distance, that horizontal branches will again move into the ground. At that ground, it will develop the rhizomes and the stems from there, and this is how it will develop the new plant. So after the maturation, this plant will also do the same like this, and it will also develop the another new plant. And this is how they will keep continuing, and they will keep growing, they will keep multiplying or propagating the different plants from the one plant. Okay, so this is how the this is very commonly seen in the strawberry and Vallisneria. Okay, this is seen in strawberry and Vallisneria. Now this happens is not only happen through the right side of the plant. This can happen in any direction, on left or in front or in back, because it's round. Now plant is round, so that happens in any direction. It is not like that the plant will develop this only in the right side or the left side. Okay, so this is stolon, already seen in the board. So the most important thing is these horizontal branches, and then from the base they will develop the shoot, and this is how they will help in the vegetative propagation. And the most important that it has the arched shape. So you can see here that is not much more different between the stolon and the runner. Okay, runner is also above the ground, stolon is also above the ground, and the only difference between this runner and the stolon is their shape. That runner will just run along the way of that surface of the ground, while in stolon it will just form this arch shape. Okay, so in board, if you will see that there is, it has been seen that there is no difference between stolon and the runner. But if you will just study in detail, then you will come to know that there is a huge difference between these two. So the next, the third type of this sub-aerial root, or sorry, sub-aerial stem, is the offset. Now the offset, there is nothing new in the offset. The offset we already seen that the one internode, uh, one internode long runner. Okay, there is a long runner will be developed from the one internode, and that occurs in aquatic plant. Okay, usually seen only in the aquatic plant, right? Okay, for example, here I have just drawn that this is the long internode. Again, from that, sorry, this is the long slender portion of that plant which has the internodes, and from that internodes the new plant will develop. Okay, so above it will have the leaves, and the below it will have the rhizomes, just like this, and this is how they will grow. Now the example, you know it very well. Okay, the water hyacinth, okay, also called as the uh, Bengal terror, right? It is also called as the Bengal terror. Second example is Pistia, or it is called as the water lettuce. It is also called as the water lettuce. Then, so these are the example of that offset which grows, which are the aquatic plant and grows all over the surface of that water. Okay, and we have already seen that in the board that this water hyacinth is also called as the terror of Bengal, and the reason, you already know the reason. The reason is same, that they covers the whole surface of that whole surface of that water, and this is how they are creating the layer onto the surface of the water, and this is how they stopped the penetration of the sunlight. Second thing, in addition, they also utilize all the oxygen present into the water, and this is how they will create this scarcity, the scarcity of that oxygen for those organism which is living into the water, and this is how the oxygen deficiency will be created, and that organism may can die. Okay, and this happens very prominently, and that was the first case reported into the Calcutta, that Calcutta people, the staple food of that Calcutta people is a fish, and this variety was introduced into the India at that time for the purpose of that decoration and that ornamental purpose, because of the unique shape of its leaf and the coloring, that color, the pattern and that shape of that it leaves, it was so attracting, and that is why, that was the reason it was introduced into the India. But later on, the people of India, that Calcutta, they realized that this plant is the reason behind the death of the maximum fish into the canal or into the river, and then they after they just declare that this water hyacinth as the Bengal of terror of Bengal, because it has just created the biggest terror, that the death of maximum fish were death by that time. And the Bengal people, they love the fish, and that was the reason it is also known as the Bengal terror, Bengal, also Bengal terror, right? And this is the reason, and there is most important question into the board also, that explain the terror of Bengal. Okay, it can be asked in 2 or 3 marks. And in NEET, it can also be asked as an MCQ, that which plant is known as the Bengal of terror. So that the water hyacinth. Okay, so this is all about the subaerial stem. Now the fourth one, aerial stem. Let's take a look on the aerial stem. So far what we have seen, let's take a look on that too. See, roots we discuss, underground stem we discuss, subaerial stem we discuss, and we have reached the aerial stem. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the aerial stem, and then we'll discuss about the leaves, bulbils, and the turions. Okay, so the fourth in our list, the next one is the aerial stems. Chalo. Aerial stems and also called as the aerial shoots. So now those all aerial stems. Okay. All these stems are very fleshy. They are fleshy stems, and they are also called as the phylloclades. Now what is phylloclades? Okay, you have to search it. What is phylloclades? You must know it. Phylloclades je chhe te શું છે તે. Okay, so if you don't know what is phylloclades, then it's very difficult for you to understand what is aerial stem. Okay, so phylloclades is that part of the plant which performs the function of photosynthesis, I think so. And so that means that that part of the plant which contains the chlorophyll into it, right? So we know that majority of the plant, in majority of the plant, only leaf is the only structure, leaf is the only part which contains the chlorophyll, and that performs the function of photosynthesis, right? But some plants are also there in which the stem contains the chlorophyll, and that stem will perform the function of that photosynthesis. Okay, so those stems are called as the phylloclades, and just like the opuntia, they can form the new plant through these fleshy phylloclades. Okay, so most of the that plant, xerophytes je hoy છે. Okay, xerophytes, they also produce because of that, because of that water scarcity, they will leave all that leaf, and only that the stem will develop into the leaf like, they bear the leaf like structure. For example, the cactus, yeah? I mean, cactus ne jo so you can see it. Okay, second thing, they are, all those phylloclades, they are of green color, and they can also perform the function of photosynthesis. For example of that is the sugar, I mean sugar cane. Okay, you can see that sugar cane, and that sugar cane can be propagated by planting the small segments of that stem which have at least one node. Okay, so almost 20 to 30 centimeters of one piece, 30 to centimeters 20 to 30 centimeter of one piece, that is almost a half-foot piece, is taken. And after taking that, just a second. So that almost the half foot of that piece, then planted into the soil, and that at least contain one node, right? Just like this, I have draw it here. This is the stem, these are the nodes onto it, and that node is having the bud onto it. So you, next time when you will eat the sugar cane, then just take a close look onto that sugar cane, and you will see at the node, okay, at the node there will be a bud like structure. Okay, yellow is brown or red is brown like structure you will see at the node. So that bud, from that bud, the new plant will be grow. So this is called as the what we can say, this is called as the aerial stems. Okay, those are the aerial stems, and we are using that aerial stem, we are planting that aerial stem into the ground, into the soil, and from that, this is the one node, for example, one node from here, and this is how the new leaf will be developed, the new plant of that sugarcane. And it will also, you must have seen the roots, adventitious roots on the nodes of the stem of sugarcane, right? While eating the sugarcane, you must have observed the roots are present onto the that sugarcane stem. And what is that? That is adventitious root. Okay, so that means what, that if you will cut down that part and you will grow it into the soil, and you will plant it into the soil, then it will definitely going to give rise to the new plant. Okay, and that is the biggest advantage of having the aerial stem. Okay, and this is how majority of our farmers are just planting, and they are developing, creating this what we can say, this new plant of the sugarcane. Now the next is the leaves. Okay, now leaves, how we can use the leaves to develop the new plant. Okay, so new plant can also be developed by using leaves, and the biggest example of that leaves is the brahma kamal. Okay, brahma kamal કદાચ તમે જોઈ જશે. Usually they grow, I mean they flower once in a season. Okay, once in a year they flower, and they flower in monsoon only. Okay, so this is the season where you can see the brahma kamal, the flower they develop. So the brahma kamal can be grown from the its leaf. You can just take a portion of the leaf, you can cut down the leaf from that plant, and you can plant that leaf into the soil, and that plant will give rise to the new plant. Sorry, that leaf will give rise to the new plant. So the new plant will be developed through the leaves. Okay, so the why? Because these leaves have the adventitious bud. Leaf has the adventitious bud, and now this bud will form, from this bud the new plant will be developed. Okay, this is also called as the vegetative means of propagation. This is also called as the vegetative propagation. Example is begonia, Nia. It is begonia. Example is begonia. Second is bryophyllum, and the third one is streptocarpus, etc., etc. Okay, streptocarpus. Okay, if the bird gets injured, then new plant will not be developed from the leaves. Okay, so whatever the bird that is present on that leaf, if it will get injured, then the new plant will not be developed from leaves, right? So the bird is present at outer marginal notches of leaf, outer marginal notches of leaf. So now notch, you can see that these are the leaves. Okay, I have drawn it here. These are the leaves. It has the notches, and from that notch you can see the bird has been just developed. So now when the bird will develop, it will not only form the leaves, but it will also form the rhizoids, the small adventitious roots. Okay, and this is how the young plant will be developed from the leaf. So on the maturation, this young plant then will get detached from here, and it will fall off, it will fall down. Okay, and then it will just penetrate its root into the ground, and they will grow there. Okay, so this is how, with the use of the plant, with the use of the leaf, sorry, with the use of the leaf, you can also develop the young plant. Okay, so after maturation of young plant, it will get detached, it will get detached and fall on the soil, where its root will come in contact with ground, and they can grow into the adult plant, right? The example is fern, Fern, fern. Fern તમે જોઈ છે. The fern is being used for the decorative purpose. Okay, and that also makes the call as the walking fern. Walking fern. Done. Okay, so that's it about this lecture. In next lecture we'll talk about the further types, and then we'll also talk about that horticulture techniques, okay, in next lecture. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any query regarding so far whatever covered I have covered in this lecture, you can contact me. Okay, so we can discuss this. Done. Chalo, bye bye.